All right, what's up, you guys? I am back with another one. It is episode 5 of The Last of Us. Let's talk about it. So, first and foremost, what an amazing episode. We start off with what we think. We start off what we rate. We end it with what we think our rating is going to be. My rating. I got IGN's rating up, and I'll show you guys. They gave it a 9 out of 10. Right? Episode 5, excellent. It was perfect. We were left with a little cliffhanger at the last episode, so we couldn't wait. So I am glad for the Super Bowl, and I am not. Here's why. I'm an Eagles fan. I almost didn't make this video because it's still fresh, the loss, but that's not why we're here. But now that I can think clearer, I said, let me make this video for my fellow collectors, The Last of Us fans. I owe it to myself and to my followers, my subscribers, because I love this show. I love this freaking show. It's my favorite video game. We got the Funko Pop of the clicker. Man. First, let's start off with we got introduced to two brothers. And man, was that what they did to us was crazy. But that's what the show does. That's what good shows do. And that's what good actors do. They get you to like them, and they're not there long enough, and then what happens, and let's not get ahead. So IGN gave it a 9. I'll give you my reasons why I loved it so much. It was because, again, this time it did not stick so much to the game, yet it did why I always preach, and it is the fact that we get to bring in new audiences, people who did not play the games, people who are not gamers. And again, I watched the episode, I listened to the podcast. I kind of like just want to hear what their thoughts are, if they're anywhere near my thoughts, and for like this video's thing. We're keeping it short, so there's not even a script. Normally, like I said, I've gotten better at organizing myself. I have a little couple of things to show, but I don't have it organized because it's going to be kind of quick. One, my reason was it did stick close enough. I did like the concept of Sam. It was Sam, right? Like right now, like my head is gone blank, right? But it is, cause that is like Sam, and I was right. In the video game, he is not deaf, and he is older, right? So what they give us here is kind of like Joe is moving into that parenthood side of things. We talked about this in the last episode. He's moving towards he's not ready, but he's being forced to by the situation. So now we see two brothers, an older brother that sees his little brother as a son, right? Henry and Sam. And that woman wants him so bad because he's the reason why her brother's dead. So this is like a whole two people that love each other, two people that care for each other, will do anything for each other. There's these two other people who are getting to that point where they're getting to that point, and three is this one person who lost that person that symbolizes to Joel and Henry. And in the video game, he is not deaf, but they felt like making him younger, making him deaf will make sense. And when they talk about it in the podcast, I'm like, To me, at first, it didn't make much sense, but then when they pointed it out, that it gives you more talking from like more talk from Ellie. You get to know Ellie a little bit more, and you can see how she is so much more mature. Because remember, she jokes around a lot. She talks a lot. She she tries. She's obnoxious to Joe at the beginning, but you can see how when the roles reverse and when there needs to be some control, she is there. Uh, but that's why they made him, because there are those quiet moments where she can talk more and be more serious, and we get to see that serious side of her. And at the same time, like, I'm gonna talk about this scene. I'm gonna talk about this scene right now before we move forward. The sniper, the whole clicker, the coming out of the ground, all those infected coming out of the ground. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this clicker, and I'm gonna bring it up. The child clicker. Whenever there's something about horror or whatever, children just make it scarier. And I'm just gonna play this clip real quick. It's just a couple of seconds of it. This girl is actually, you know how. Let me just play it. Look at that. Like, that is amazing. Let's just go back a little bit, because you would think, CGI stuff, whatever, and we all know it's makeup that they did for all the clickers and etc. But this is a contortionist child who auditioned for it, and it's such a great job. Did such a great job in her audition. Like, they were like, she's so good, she's scary, and she didn't even have the makeup on at this point. That's what they said when they were when the making of the video of the episode. But she not only does this with Ellie, Kathleen, she kills. She gets killed by a kid, right? The child kills her after she said children die, and she just gave that speech about children die every day. Who cares? Why are you sacrificing your own life for this child who's gonna die? But guess what? There is a dead child here who's a clicker who's been dead for a while. That was amazing. And then we move on to the part where I said, and we go back to how emotional, how they got us with the whole talking and him being deaf. Like, the scene in the motel when they're after all of that craziness happened with all the infected and all the fighting, and Sam asks her if when you turn, are you still yourself deep down inside? And he shows her the scar, the bite. Jaw dropping. My sister said, "What the fuck?" on a text after she watched the episode. Nearly cried. I nearly teared up. And the video game is different. He's much older. He doesn't tell her, and Ellie doesn't reveal her that she's immune. They're a little more. They're a little older, so they're a little more to themselves. But him opening up to her there like that after knowing him for such a short period of time shows that the impact that Ellie made on him, right? And then Ellie sharing the whole she's like, oh, my blood is a cure. She's BSing him, or is she telling him? Or is she telling him? She's feeding him lies to make him feel at ease because he's so freaking worried about the fact that he's going to turn, or is she saying it because she actually starting to feel that she's that important, that she actually is the cure? And when you talk about, oh, someone's blood is the cure, what do you want? You share that blood, right? So there's that. And then the other thing that just when she said he asked her if she stays up with him through the night. What does she say? She says, yes, I'll stay up. But guess what? She breaks that promise and falls asleep. Wakes up. And then Here's something that the guys pointed out, and I felt it right away. I didn't need to hear it from the podcast, but all credit to them. It's on record for them too. The point that she called out for him, and he still didn't hear her. Remember, he's deaf. If she called out to him and he turned, that symbolizes that he is not himself anymore. That he is completely changed. He has no control. Yet him not hearing her and her having to go tap him, and then he attacks her, shows that he is still deep down inside. He's still him. He hasn't been infected for that long. So it points out kind of like the whole thing he said. Are you still yourself when you get infected? In a sense, that kind of like as a symbolism of, yes, you still are, to a certain extent, to a certain point. But at that moment, after those few little hours, because we don't know how long she fell asleep for, how long it took him to change. So I found that amazing, and for that alone, I give the show myself. I give it a 10. I've been giving it a 9. I've been agreeing with IGN. I've been giving it a the one that they gave it a 7. I gave it an 8.5 or whatever, but I give this one a 10. Man, it was emotional for me. Um, it was kind of like dear to me, in a sense. I have children, girl older than this, my girl older than my son. So kind of like I would love for my daughter to act that way, defend the child that way, her sibling that way, in that sense of making him feel like a superhero, making him feel like he can get through whatever struggle. But because of that, this is just with all emotion that I'm giving it a 10. It hit me, and I cannot wait for this upcoming Sunday, guys. And that's it for me, man. I appreciate you guys. If you guys are enjoying them, I know it's just talking. You're normally used to seeing me unboxing stuff. Let me know. Let me know if you're enjoying it. Like, let me know. Like, talk to me. But then again, before I go, just remember, you gotta do these things. And I'll catch you guys on that flippity flip. Good night.